Three, two, one. All right. All right, we are here. We're live, and oh yeah, say finally doing this. Heroes of Dreams, everybody. We so glad to finally get to where it all got started. Before before I had the before I had the fancy Yumiko books with the all its little get up and everything, and then before it with the comic books and Star Striker comics and all that, Brown Chronicles, and even a Yumiko comic book itself. And this was the first book series that was out, and yep, was like I say, didn't have Photoshop at that time, so you had to ooh once I drew the pictures, I had to go back and color them with a colored pencil there. And let me tell you, like I say, some of now because of that, there are some there are some decent pictures. Um, a lot of them I think came kind of the more I did it, like when we get to the later Heroes of Dream books. There's some improvements there, and there was also another series within the Heroes of Dream universe that I tried to do on the side, but I only got two books of it there. You'll hear about it when we get to it. But oh, excuse me. But yeah, but like I say, but it got a little bit better. But you could definitely tell a difference between this, even with some of the really good pictures in the color pencils, different between that and the ones done with Photoshop, like say that one for instance, where it was hand drawn, and yeah, that was Casey had colored and detailed this one there. Because like I say, when I started that series, yeah, I didn't have Photoshop myself, so had to rely on Casey to kind of help me out there for this series there. So yep, but like I say, this is where it started with the colored pencils. Um, a heroic dream begins. Um, Matter of fact, I even had this had even got in the newspaper of all things there here at the Shreveport Sun. Shreveport Sun had a little article from them about this when I first put this book out there. Um, the publishing company I did this with was a place called Outskirts. I don't know if they're still in business anymore, but they were really expensive to get, and yeah, it took quite a bit of money to get this. I mean, I, like I said, it's kind of a little personal. I'm not gonna tell you how, how I had to come across that, but yeah, it was pretty expensive. Um, and I didn't know if I was gonna be able to even do any more books because of how high it was. Um, but about a year later, after I had got this one published, and I was writing out number two, for to get it published when I could. One of my coworkers told me about Kindle, Create Space, and now they're known as Amazon Kindle Direct. But back then they were known as Create Space, and they had it was a lot. I was able to go on and actually just start pumping out my books, and yeah, this one's gonna be coming up. We're gonna be doing this one tomorrow morning. Yeah, but this one's gonna be tonight. Yeah, but yeah, so yeah, we will. So yeah, this one tonight, and then we will be back tomorrow morning. Oh, here's the card. I was looking for this card here. Yeah, this card right here. This was the this it came with my Static Shock poster that Casey gave me there. I think they're the ones responsible for making that fan art. Uh, so yeah, now I can look them up there. All right, so as I say, let's go on into this here. Got a little summary on the back. Heroes of Dreams, Volume 1, A Heroic Dream Begins. When you were younger, did you ever wonder what it was like to be a real superhero like the ones on television? If if your answer is yes, then I'm guessing you probably did things like memorized and quoted different superhero dialogues, puns, and catchphrases. You know, it always got to be the puns. For example, if a hero was about to tie up a villain before doing so, they would say, "All right, let's wrap this up." Which that was a little something I got from the. I had just when I wrote that example, I had just recently watched a Phineas and Ferb episode, "The Beat," when they were trying to create the ultimate skater and ended up becoming a superhero, and up against Lord Kakua Poo Poo. Thank you very much. All right, let's wrap this up. Hey, the first superhero pun. Well, don't quit your day job, Mr. Comedian. No, actually, I think it was pretty funny. Yeah, he wrapped around the legs. If you didn't like that line, maybe this will be a hit. Yeah, see, because he hit him. I'm standing right here. So, yeah, I gotta get it up there. Uh, okay. Uh, oh, thank you, Claus. I saw his little message in there. Let's see. So, hey, what's up, Claus? I saw you. I saw you on the Discord to everybody there. Appreciate that, buddy. Yeah. Say okay. So yeah, and then it's like our number two made a homemade mask and used a bath towel or a blanket with certain clothing as a superhero costume. I did that. And I may have mentioned in one stream that the first Star Trek costume I made looked like this, but the only difference is it didn't have sleeves on it. But it was a sleeveless shirt with this star on it, and blue sweatpants and a blue bath towel cape pinned to my shirt with safety pins, and of course a Mardi Gras mask. And I actually and you know how Superman wears his costume under his clothes there? This sounds like a job for Superman. Well, what happened? I actually put the cape and everything under my regular school clothes, and I had like the mask and I think some gloves in my backpack there. So yeah, I had that. And, like I say, when I had to change out in gym class, I had to when nobody was looking, change into the gym pants and have the sweatpants rolled up really high to be hidden under my gym shorts. Ooh, I guess that was one advantage of having sweatpants that you could. It's easier to roll them up. Good thing I wasn't wearing something like blue jeans or something under it, or another pair of regular like khaki pants or something. So, all right. Mm. Or made up your own, or say certain superhero costume, or made up your own superhero adventure. Anyway, in this first book, Heroes of Dream, you'll learn about an 8-year-old third grader, Samuel E. Princeton, who's always dreamed of one day becoming a superhero. However, with some help from his father, Leonardo Princeton, his dream might become true. Find out for yourself as the heroic dream begins. After you do, be sure to get Heroes of Dreams Volume 2 right on target to continue the adventure. All right. Okay. We got a message on here. Let's see if it's on. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna send them a message. Okay. So good. Okay, this is the video. Okay, I'm gonna send them the link. Okay, to the stream real quick. Yeah, give me just a second. All right. There we go. Okay, live. Okay. Right. Come to my screen. Okay. All right. Yeah, I guess. Okay. Hopefully, some of them have seen it. I did post that I was about to go live in these groups that people are commenting to me from. So yeah, hopefully I'll see the post I just made of the link to the stream itself. So y'all come on in here. Yeah, that way, come on in here. You asking your questions right here, live. Hey, and a lot. I don't know why, but a lot of them be like wanting to say, well, let me, well, can we message each other privately? Which, okay, I wouldn't mind that so much. I mean, okay, you want to chat like that, okay, in the messenger and whatever. But what I do mind is, okay, some of them will, start, not all of them, but some of them will start asking, like, trying to sell like promotion and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, dude, I'm already, because when it comes to like trying to get promotion from my book stuff like that, other than what I'm already doing, I'm is a if I'm now if no if I choose I want to come to any of anybody online like that, I would do that on my own. But as of now, I'm working with some people locally. But yeah, like I say, if I do decide to do that, I will, you say, hey, I know where to find you guys there. But yeah, don't have to come to me, private message me doing that. Let me come to you on that. And, like I say, but I mean, hey, y'all want to, ask me like, well, about what your book is about, stuff like that. Yeah, that's fine, or, and then, let me know if y'all want to get a copy. So, yeah. All right. Sorry about that little interruption there. Uh, with Leah, but find out for yourself as a heroic dream begins, and be sure to get Heroes of Dream Volume 2 right on target to continue the adventure, which we'll be reading that tomorrow morning. But like I said before, as for the night, we're going into Heroic Dream Begins, and it does have some pictures in it there. Got my say these my mom my other here. A mom right here on the top here say that helped to proofread the book, and she's also wrote some prayer journals too there. After she retired from school teaching, she had been started writing some prayer journals there. So, and then of course my lovely my Diane Douglas Taylor, my lovely wife Christina Lee say or Johnson, also known as Queen Tina, right there. That might be, I don't know if you can see it there because of the picture quality there. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the picture quality. But yeah, they help a lot, but they help proof and edit a lot of my books when I get them out there. And then my mom, she'll do the same with Christina's books that she writes. We got to take the rough draft of her first Bubblina novel over to her this weekend to have proofed and edited there. So yeah, that's and of course the artwork. Excuse me. By yours truly, artwork and inspiration. And of course, like you see a picture of me. Like I say, this was written. This book series started in 2010. Oh boy, so this is like 15 years ago when I started this book writing publishing journey up to where I'm at now. Almost kind of make me think of the author Kaka Mini. I don't have the book in here, but the author of the Yu-Gi-Oh manga, when he started there, it took him a while before he made it big with Yu-Gi-Oh. So, and that's not the first Star Trek costume I made, but that actually is the second one that I had made shortly when I started work at the Mansfield Road Kroger, and we had a kids' night out. So I put that together to dress up in costume for Halloween at Kroger there. Yeah, and I had my legendary dreadlocks back then. That if you if you did not know me at any time between 2007 to 2010, you would not believe I ever. You probably most of you would not believe I had dreadlocks because I literally had some people who didn't know me during that time, like, "Oh, that's a myth. You ain't got no dread. You ain't never had no dreadlocks before." Well, I did, and they grew out pretty long there. But um, towards Christmas of 2010, I got them cut because it was getting a little expensive to keep up there. So, and also, and also then at the time, Christina and I, we were engaged, and we were getting close to our wedding day, and really trying to, put back some finances for preparations, as well as also, what we, what we, how we were going to start off, our living quarters and stuff. So yeah, so I had to cut some expenses there, and my gorgeous locks, my my handsome locks were one of them. But life goes on there. But at least I got me a lovely wife. I may be bald, but at least I got my wife. Sometimes it's worth it. So let's see. Chapter 1, Project Starman and the mission. And we're I thought we were 10 minutes in, but we're 16 minutes in, almost 17. Nice. Project Starman and the mission. Excuse me. All right. It's saying this. Oh, and show you the other picture here. It's Agent Leonardo President, and his assistant Kurt Waynes. All right. I'd like to welcome you all to the BTB agency, also known as the Back-to-Back Agency, which we have now successfully relocated here in Shreveport, Louisiana, said Leonardo to his agents. As your leader, I trust the underground location covered by the abandoned recycling center will serve us as they prepare us on our new project. Leonardo then led the agents over to a lab where he revealed what looked like a superhero costume consisting of a white and light gray shirt, black gloves, silver mask, black star on it, black pants, and gray striped silver boots, and an attachment that looked like a backpack. Yeah, there's a kind of a hint there. This is what's gonna. There's a little something significant gonna happen with this. With this little item back here that has completely no relation at all. Yeah. Okay. Make sure I wasn't skipping the page. Sit kind of way I can still see me. All right. The superhero costume is what was known as Project Starman. He started to explain Project Starman. Started making me think of Mega Man. Mega Man, super fighting robot, Mega Man, super fighting robot, Mega Man. This is Project Starman. While it may look like some basic Halloween costume, it's actually a highly well-armed battle suit with multiple attack features and super abilities, all inside an attachment known as a Star Pack. Professor Kurt Wayne, our creator of Project Starman, will now come up and brief us on all the details. The way they described this all made me think of something from Power Rangers RPM when they was explaining about the Ranger suits. And now we know reality. Power Rangers, they wear the costumes are spandex material because it's a lot easier for their actors. But and they actually said this in the show, like, it looks like spandex. That is not spandex. It is the material is a very high sensitive metal. But I guess you could say, I mean, because technically, you do in science, especially in science fiction, you do have what they call liquid metal, or metal where you can, or it's machine washable. And then also, like in Spider-Man, like in the MCU Spider-Man movie, his Spider-Man suit was known as a smart cloth. There, ooh, so, me. All right, so okay, Professor Kurt came up next to Project Starman and began. Fellow agents, the stuff, the star pack contains many weapons such as star spinners. Once set by the user, they should be instantly thrown at the target and will explode on contact. Another weapon is the star rings that will imprison any enemy on contact. Then there's the gadgets such as your smokescreen bomb, rope launcher, laser blaster, jetpack, and a special camera linked to the mask of the suit. The purpose of the camera is to inform the pack on which weapon and gadget to use simply by scanning your surroundings in a crisis. Also, like the suit, the pack and the mask are extremely resistant to the most destructive forces that you may encounter on your assignments. Thank you, Professor, said Leonardo. Our reason for Project Starman was is to counter our greatest enemy, former agent Anthony Westwood. Westwood constantly tried experiments to combine animal parts into our agents, thinking it would be more beneficial to us. However, with constant failures, it did not only drain our finances, but at times it would put our agents in unnecessary life-challenging risk. Eventually, we all came up with the decision and fired him and immediately relocated for safety. However, during the week of the move, numerous news reports came out saying how his experiments had escaped here. So, with the decision to relocate here, hopefully we can protect the citizens with our new Project Starman once it's completed. Calling all, calling all agents, calling all BTB agents. Please report to the command center to the command room immediately. Said a voice from the command room. Leonardo, Professor Kurt, and the other agents went to the command room, where the voice was revealed to have come from the central computer. There's a disturbance in the downtown area. Agents, let's move, ordered Leonardo. The agents arrived downtown, seeing hundreds of mixed human animals terrorizing the citizens. While the agents battled them, it was unknown that they were being watched by a mysterious old man. Later, they would find out there was more of this old man than meets the eye. A whole lot more. Always that mysterious person. That's some of my head there. Chapter 2, Playing Superhero. And this is in his picture, Star Striker. Yep, just like he was on the cover. That night, after the battle at the Shreve National Bank, a robbery occurred. The robbers escaped in their getaway car before the police arrived. They were laughing and ranting about the big score. Then, out of nowhere, a bunch of Lego blocks built into stars were thrown at the car, putting huge cracks in the window. Must be some strong Lego blocks. The cracks eventually, they yet quickly got big enough to keep the robbers from seeing where they were going. So they stopped the car and got out. All right, who's the wise guy around here? Exclaimed the first robber. Then a kid on a bike in a homemade superhero costume similar to that of Project Starman rode up and stopped. The costume was a white t-shirt with a red and orange star painted on it, a light blue mask, dark blue sweatpants, white tennis shoes, and a blue bath towel as his cape. The kid also had a blue and yellow backpack. Wise guy, huh? Said the kid. Well, this wise guy is going to kick your butts. Sounds like your butt needs to get spanked once your mommy finds out where you are out here by yourself at night, said the second robber. At least I'm not robbing banks like you guys, said the kid. Ice this little brat, said the third robber. And all the robbers took out their weapons, and just as they were about to use them, the kid threw some firecrackers from out of his pocket at them, quickly ran away from the direction of the explosion. The powerful force from the explosion sent the robbers crashing into their car. Then, so for the first time, evil has been defeated, said the kid, making a superhero-like pose. Thanks to Star Striker for I strike like a star. Just then, a shirtless, muscular man, wearing torn jeans, having 6 arms with crab pincers for hands on each arm, and a large shell on his back, showed up and growled. Arrgh! Star turned around in shock. Whoa, talk about your mad doctor experiments. And that's the crab monster right there. Star, just like on the cover, you can see Star's going to take him on now. The man charged at Star ready to attack. Star quickly dodged, took out his toy sword, and struck the man across the face, and they went into the battle, swords and pincers clashing. Look at Yep. But just a second there. All right. Enough of that. Let's say, wait till I get on this side, then you want to start running. Let's see. Point this. Get this. Turn this air conditioner. Not turn it off. I'm gonna make it point away from me. And it's coming back to me. Let's see. Okay, come on. Turn it around. There we go. Okay, that should do it. Yeah, there we go. That's probably making my nose run, the air blowing in my face there. Eventually, the man knocked Star into a streetlight post, and just as he was about to charge at Star again, he was blinded by the lights of the police cars pulling up. Star, who had passed out at that moment, came to and saw the police trying to restrain the man. Say, looks like it's time to wrap this up, said Star, getting up and taking a rope out of his backpack, which was actually a bunch of jump ropes tied together to make one large rope. And he lassoed the man with the rope, but he started tugging to get loose, causing Star to struggle, trying to swing him to the ground until a tranquilizer dart hit the man, causing him to fall unconscious. The police looked at the man in a confused way, and then at Star laughed nervously, saying, no need to thank me, fellow officers, just doing my job. Say, I got the whole thing under control. Actually, we got the whole thing under control, said a voice. Everyone looked around and saw that the voice came from Leonardo, who had just arrived with some of the agents. BTB agency officers. He said, lead the mutated man and the kid with us. Understood, sir, said the commanding officer. And then he said to the other officers, come on, team, let's take care of those crooks in that car over there. In chapter 3, Samuel's dream. So, TikTok alert. Star sat on his bed that night in his PJs awaiting Leonardo's return. This 8-year-old superhero was known as Samuel E. Princeton, which was his real name, and he was the son of Leonardo Princeton. Eventually, Leonardo arrived and entered the door looking at Samuel very angrily. Samuel laughed nervously, saying, that was some serious action there, right, Dad? You know what I'm saying? Son, do you realize the danger you put yourself in tonight? Said Leonardo. But Dad, I just wanted to be like you, exclaimed Samuel. That is part of my job, not a comic book fantasy. You're too young to be an agent. I've told you that time and time again. But when will I be old enough to kick some criminal butt? You better watch your mouth, son, and I mean it. You're saying butt too much. You see a close-up on Leonardo there. And then, of course, got this picture of Samuel and Leonardo there. And that scene, like we say, you could have put yourself in danger there. There's sort of a reference to the Mufasa and Simba from The Lion King a little bit there. But no buts. Now your mom will be back from her trip tomorrow afternoon. Once you get home from school, I want you to come. Afternoon. Once you get home from school, so I want you to come straight home from school and stay in her sight until I get home from work to discuss your punishment. Good night, son. Good night, Dad. Said Samuel, disappointed. The next day at Samuel's school, Shreve City Elementary, Samuel sat in his class daydreaming. Man, he started thinking to himself as he daydreamed, that being a real superhero would sound so cool. As he continued ranting in his mind, the images of what he was saying started flashing in his head. He began to draw the images in his sketch pad. He didn't know it yet, but the drawing turned out to be actually like Project Starman. Only he drew a cape instead of a star pack on the back. Just as Samuel was finishing the drawing, Miss Fillmore walked by and snatched it off his desk. Well, Mr. Princeton, said Miss Fillmore. It doesn't look anything like your homework. Oh, it's some music. I thought it was a train at first. The class laughed a little bit as Samuel responded. Oh, my math homework. Well, you see, let me guess, interrupted Miss Fillmore. You were too busy fighting crime again as a superhero. More like a super zero, said Bruno, laughing. Shut up, shouted Samuel at him. What you gonna do about it, said Bruno again. Use the super zero powers on me? Then Bruno and the rest of the class laughed as he got up out of his seat, putting on a paper bag over his head and saying in an annoying way, Look at me, I'm a super zero. The class continued laughing, causing Samuel to get really ticked and tackled Bruno. Then Miss Fillmore took out a whistle and blew it loudly until everybody got quiet and looked at her, and she said, Now, Samuel, this is the third time in a row you've been late with your homework because of the superhero nonsense. So, in addition to today's homework and your missing assignment from last night, I want you to write a 200-word essay on the importance of doing your homework, and I want it all by tomorrow. By the way, that teacher and also that kid Bruno I just mentioned, originally they did not have. They were just they didn't even have names. There it was just the teacher, and Bruno was just the kid. It was just a kid there. But when Christina was proofing it, she sort of penciled in names for them, and kind of went with it. Cause, one reason why, and the name, especially Bruno, because he's gonna come up later in this series there. But one thing about it, at that point, it kind of helped with, like when you be saying he say, she say, and all that, to make it kind of less confusing a little bit there. Mm. So, just as the bell rang, the class was dismissed. Some of the kids continued making fun of Samuel as they went past them going out the classroom. Eventually, as Samuel walked down the hallway, he saw a kid running by with three bullies chasing him. Guess I better, said Samuel, heading toward the boys' bathroom. But then he thought to himself, "Wait, I don't have to change. I don't have to use my costume. I'll help him. I'll help him as myself." And Samuel ran after the three bullies full speed, and once he caught up with them, he saw them picking up the kid that they were chasing. Just as they were about to punch him, Samuel charged at them, jumped up, and did a high jump kick on the bullies, causing them to drop the other kid. And you can see right there, kick, that's not that right there is, how you see when something indicates action. Usually it would be colored yellow, but I don't know why. But for some reason I colored it red there. So yeah, just let you know, that's not blood there. That was supposed to be an action indication there. But yeah, I should have made that a different color though. Just as they were about to punch him, Samuel charged at them, jumped up, and did a high jump kick on the bullies, causing them to drop the other kid. Don't you guys know that bullying is overrated, said Samuel. Not as overrated as you'll be when we kick your butt, said one of the bullies. 3-on-1? I face worse, said Samuel. Bring it on. Then Samuel and the bullies went at each other until they saw the principal arrive. Uh-oh. I'm trying to see something here. Okay. Chapter 4, A New Friend. Samuel, and by the way, this is Samuel with the new kid that he rescued there, Brian Robinson. Samuel and the kid he rescued sat outside the principal's office while he talked to the bullies inside his office. "Hey man, I really appreciate you helping me out back there," said the kid. "No problem, but you didn't have to come with me," said Samuel. "Well, you're only here because you saved me. I figured it was the least I could do. I'm Brian Robinson. Samuel Princeton. Nice to meet you." "Same here. So, how come those guys were after you?" They threatened me to make them a really good science project for our group assignment." "What did you build?" Brian took out a blueprint out of his backpack and showed it to Samuel. "It's a capture ring. I built it, and that capture ring will come back later. I built it using equipment from my parents' lab, such as anti-gravitational electrons that allow longer air velocity time after being thrown, of course. Titanium armor calculated to have 90.8% durability. Thermal sensors to allow a hyperlock mechanism and render its target incapable of render once rendered the useless of its immobility." Oh gosh. Yeah. So, however, I didn't put those electrons. I didn't put in those electrons. So, since it was the only use for my science project, Samuel looked at Brian confused. "Come again?" "In layman terms, it captures rings all the people you throw at." Like, oh, so what happened? Like, well, or should I say, I finished building it. Say, I brought it to the guys. But Then once we arrived in the class, I had to go to the bathroom really bad because I drank too much water this morning for breakfast. This morning for breakfast. So when I came back, the guys were trying to get it to work and ended up breaking it. 3 days of hard work and it was ruined in 3 minutes. Mm. Then say, well, say, oh yeah, say, well, or should I say, I finished building it and brought it to you guys. Say, then once we arrived in the class, I had to go to the bathroom really bad because I drank too much milk before breakfast this morning. So when I came back, the guys were trying to make it work and ended up with a C minus. But the guys weren't as they weren't as mer- say, but the guys weren't as merciful as the teacher. Mm. Say well, say, which is why they were caught chasing you down the halls today, pretty much. Well, hopefully after getting their butts kicked, they'll leave you alone. Yeah, but what if they come after you? If they do, I got a new friend who will teach them an even better lesson. So who's that? Star Striker. He'll straighten them out big time. Oh boy, not big time for he strikes like a star. Is that a television show or something? No, he's a real superhero. I thought superheroes weren't real. Well, this one is. How do you know him? I was riding the out riding my bike last night by the Shreve National Bank. Hmm. Riding their so they were out riding their bikes. Say, your parents actually let you ride your bike out there at night? Yeah, they do. Samuel paused for a minute, noticing Brian looking him a certain way. Wait, oh yeah. Yeah, okay, I snuck out while they were asleep. Okay. Well, I'm a daring type. Anyway, while I was while I was passing by the Shreve National Bank on my way, the bank robbers came out. They must have they must have say, oh yeah, they must have thought I would tell the police I saw them because they spotted me, then chased me down the street. Oh dear. I would have gotten away, but my bike chain snapped apart and I stopped it just in time. However, they due to my due to my stop, caught up with the robbers caught up with me and surrounded me. Then, just as it seemed like the end, out of the blue came Star Striker. Got me home safe and sound. Sounds like a real hero. He's like a real hero. If he's that tough, he ought to be tough enough to handle a bunch of bank robbers. I mean, against those bullet radishes. So, oh boy, I was sort of at. Oh, what was I thinking here? Radicus. Okay, so now we're facing the bullies. Oh dear. And it's all three of them right here. Saw one of them in an earlier picture there. Yeah, see all three of them. I think it's supposed to be House, Monty, and Geek. That's how I think it goes there. Mm. Ooh, all right. The next day, during breakfast time, the three bullies whose names were House, Geek, and Monty sat at their table across from the school cafeteria, glancing. Hey, what's going on, Casey? Welcome in. You just came in chapter 5. We about to face the bullies. Yeah. Oh boy. See? Oh yeah. As I said, try to get so I can get through the whole book there. So, it's like, so the next day during breakfast time, three bullies whose name were House, Gee, and Monty, same name as them as the crooks that we would see Star Trek face in the comic book series, and also even in when he made his debut in the Yumiko novel series. Okay. Also, little something, just little something. Got to tell you about these bullies here. And I think I got the name mixed up. It's supposed to be okay. It's supposed to be House, and not House MD. Say Gee, and that's supposed to be Monty. Yeah, I know House is kind of a jerk sometimes, but he's not a bully though. So, yeah, it's kind of a difference between the two a little bit. Most of you, this job could be done by a monkey in a bottle of Motrin. If you're dying, suddenly everybody loves you. It's like the smugness is always easier to maintain. Oh, that's not what you meant. I'm Dr. Stephen Strange. I need you to come with me. Okay, so anyway, little fact about these bullies. I think you probably remember this, Casey. You remember when we were role playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and I think it was after after Lion King 1.5 had come out. We call ourselves trying to do a Yu-Gi-Oh 1.5, which also sort of brought forth a series I call myself making called Change of the Seasons, based from a song called Seasons Change. And it was supposed now originally the Yu-Gi-Oh 1.5 thing, which we was also going to give it the same title too, Change of the Seasons. So the version we had for Yu-Gi-Oh roleplay was supposed to be like, what if, my character Hiko and your character Julie had sort of, back when they were in elementary before they even met, like Yuki, Joey, Tristan, and Taya, and the only people that they sort of were around was, of course, Julie's brothers, Seto and Mokuba, before they became Kaibas, and a character named Zayden randomly, and Bakura. Yeah. So in my so now in the one I made that wasn't Yu-Gi-Oh related, um, there was it was supposed to be like when I started off when I was like in preschool, and I don't know where it's at. Probably don't even, I probably wouldn't even be able to find it. But I actually successfully made a comic of the full first episode. And it was supposed to be like starting when I was in preschool, and it even had like some panels of when my parents tried, like when the first day I got dropped off at preschool, and it was like, oh, I want to go. Yeah, so yeah, it had panels of that, and I had animated myself with really long hair and stuff there. And then at towards I think midway in the book, there were these three bullies: House, Monty, and Gee. But there is like, okay, like take a close look at the picture. Monty, you see, he has a coat on in the in Change of the Seasons. Monty had that coat and the hood on. He was all covered up, and he even had like a little sort of like what we had when COVID came. We had like the mask over our mouth. Well, he had something like that, mask over his mouth and everything, bandages on his hand. And there was a scene. It was kind of dark, but there was a scene when he took off his coat and his mask and everything. There were a lot of scars on Monty, and it was supposed to be implied that him and these other two boys had sort of had sort of faced some abuse from, I think, their parents there, and Monty really got the worst of it. That's why he was all covered up. Because I mean, he just had like a whole bunch of webs and stuff, from oof, from the beatings and stuff he got there. It's no wonder they became bullies. Like I say, They always say, there's a lot of time a reason why people are bullies sometime there. Even if you don't know the reason, there's some reason why they're doing what they're doing sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, that was it was pretty dark there, but yeah, that was the first time I used those three in the bully form now. Oh boy. So all right, so the next day during breakfast time, the three bullies whose house money and Guy they sat at the table in the school cafeteria, glancing at Samuel and Brian sitting at the table afar. They were infuriated with the two. They were mad at Brian for the C they received on their lab assignment, even though it was their fault. They were mad at Samuel for getting the jump on them in the hallway. Guy, Monty started house. We got to teach those two a lesson of what happens to those who cross us. I say we beat them down, said Monty, smacking his fist together. Monty and House got up and started to head towards Samuel and Brian, but Guy quickly pulled them back down, saying, "Wait a minute. We need a plan that'll work and not get us caught like last time again." "Okay, then we'll create a food fight," said House. "How would a food fight help us from getting caught?" they asked Guy. "How?" repeated House. "Simple. Once we start, everyone will be doing it. We'll be able to sneak a surprise beat down on those two and escape before the teachers arrive." "Great plan, Monty." "I have a better idea," said Guy. "Why not simply get them alone in a place like the boys' bathroom where they won't get suspicious of us trying to get them there?" Guy took out some firecracker hot sauce packets and two turkey sandwiches out of his backpack. I bet he probably got them sauce packets from Taco Bell. And said, "My dad said this hot sauce is so spicy it would take a gallon of water to cool off after eating it. And I think the last thing I ever ate that was that hot was flaming hot Cheeto puffs. I had a few of those things, and yeah, I literally was gulping down water like crazy. And I only had like a couple of handfuls there. That's how hot it was. Don't get me started with poblano peppers. Mm. Whew, that was hot. Okay, great. So, oh yeah, so that's good to know. But how will that help us trap those geeks in the bathroom for their beatdown? Asked House. "Here's the plan," started Geek. "We'll give these sandwiches with the hot sauce in it as a peace offering. Then once the hot sauce gets them to drink a whole lot of water from the fountain like crazy, they'll eventually have to go into the boys' bathroom where we'll be waiting for them." Where they where they making this plan sort of make me think of when Yzma makes her plans in Emperor's New Groove. "First, I'll turn Cusco into a flea. A tiny little flea. And I'll put that flea in a box. And I'll put that flea in and I'll put that box in the box. And I'll make that box to be safe. And when it arrives, I'll smash it with the hammer. It's brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Genius, I say." Or to save on postage, I'll just poison them with this. So, yeah. And also, let's see, another thing I had to mention. With the plan of theirs. Oh boy, something feel like it keep flying on my head there. No. I know there's a cannon fly in here somewhere. There, ooh, it'd be so annoying, man. Oh, it's a small. It's kind of like I think it must be a gnat or something. Ooh, hate those there. Yeah, I see them now. Mm, yeah, quit it. Let me read this book. So, all right. So he said, "I get it now," said House. "All right, Guy, do your thing." Then Guy put the hot sauce on the sandwiches. Oh, that's what it was. The sandwich trick. Anybody who's ever watched Goosebumps, if you look at the part one of the haunted mask in Goosebumps, There was a scene where I think Steve and Chuck was their name. They were constantly picking at this girl Carly, and they put a worm in her sandwich. And oh boy, like I say, it wasn't no hot sauce, but ugh, yeah, I pretty much understand. Yeah, like they constantly calling her a crybaby and stuff, but come on now, that's just mean. Ooh. So say hello. Oh yeah. Say hello, buddies. He said once he arrived. Samuel and Brian looked up at Guy, shocked and suspicious. As he continued, "Don't worry, I'm not here to cause any trouble. I just want to tell you that the boys and I are sorry about yesterday and decided to give you guys a peace offering." He set the sandwiches down in front of them and walked off. They walked off and back to his table. Said the house and Monty all set. Just wait till you get a taste of that sauce," said Monty as they all laughed together. Just then Samuel walked up to the trio with 6 mini sandwiches, saying, "Hey guys, I feel in order to complete this peace offer, we should do the same to you guys." Then Samuel set the sandwiches in front of them and walked off. "That geek has no idea what's in his sandwich," said Monty, taking the sandwich. House and Geek each took a sandwich and looked inside and realized Samuel had turned the tables on them by giving them back the sandwiches they had given them, just cut up again. Then they shouted at Monty, "Monty, don't eat that!" So Samuel just pulled a Bugs Bunny on them. It was too late. Monty was already eating it, and then he quickly ran to the nearest water fountain, drinking water like crazy from eating that spicy sandwich. Woo! Almost like Gotex after eating radioactive flaming hot Cheetos. And Seth, remember that DBZ role play case? We had the flaming hot Cheetos, and your character Seta had to use her powers to cool them off. Oh man. I bet I can imagine how Vegeta them probably reacted to that. Say, 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 "Where on earth did you get something like this?" New new plans. Oh yes, yeah, definitely memories. Yeah. Say, new new plans, said House, angrily getting up. "Let's pound them here and now." And they noticed Samuel and Brian were gone. They ran out the exit doors down the hall. "Brian, go hide in the boys' bathroom. I'll get Star Striker," said Samuel. "Wait, how are you going to find him?" asked Brian. "I'll call him from the phone in the principal's office," replied Samuel. Say, "Yeah, that's quite a phone." Okay. Okay, so let me. Okay. So just imagine you're Samuel and you walk in the principal's office. Is everything okay, kid? Like, I just need to call a friend of mine named Star Striker. Oh, okay, here you go. Star Striker, I need you to come help me in the yeah, yeah. I don't think, yeah, because there'll be a lot of questions from the school staff in the office there. Right? Like, oh, wait a minute now. Mm. But of course, because Samuel actually is Star Striker, so yeah, but so anyway, huh? Okay, said Brian, going to the boys' bathroom, hiding behind the door of one of the stalls and placing his feet and body up where no one could see him. I know that trick. I've seen that done in so many movies and TV shows there where they be like all like that, so you can't see their feet under the stall. Moments later, House and Gee came in looking around. Just as they were about to open the door where Brian was, they got hit by some Legos that were built together into stars. "Hold it, bully," said a heroic voice. Then Gee and House looked where the voice came from, and the voice came from Star Striker, who had his toy sword ready to fight. House and Gee saw him and fell on the floor laughing. Looks like Halloween came early this year. He's still laughing. What a lame costume. What you gonna do? Sword us to death? Almost laughing like the cops from this movie Blank Man when he showed up. Tell him, tell him your name. Tell him your name. I'm working on the name, but I'm leaning toward Brother Man. Oh boy! As as they continued laughing, Star put his sword in the holder, took out his rope, and lassoed them together, saying, "Actually, I was thinking of taking you guys for a swing." Then he swung House and Gee into the wall on the other side of the bathroom. Wow, said Brian, coming out of his hiding spot and seeing what happened. You must be Star Striker. Yes, I am, Brian, said Star. Samuel told me what was going on here, and I came to save you. Say, somebody pinched me. I must be dreaming, said Brian. How about we pinch the both of you, said House, getting up. Yeah, and then knock you into dreamland permanently. Then, no thanks, said Star, throwing a boomerang at him. But House caught it and said, what goes around comes around. He threw it back at Star Striker and Brian. Brian, stay down, ordered Star. Once Brian ducked, Star ran toward the boomerang with his sword, jumped over it in time, and gave House and Gee an aerial sword slash across their heads, and landed behind them as the boomerang hit both of them in the faces. And of course, the slash did not wound them because it's a toy sword. Yeah, just let anybody watching that's like, wait a minute, he just cut them or something? No. It's a toy sword. Now it does. Now if he can hit him hard enough to oh, that hurt, but it doesn't. Yeah, it didn't slash them, or it didn't leave any scratch mark or anything like that though. As Batman once said, you bruise but you don't kill. Clark, you've made your point, Mr. Wayne. Who's Mr. Wayne? Once again, Star Striker saves the day, said Star. That was so cool, said Brian. All in a day's work for us superheroes, said Star, approaching Brian, and the two shook hands. And we see that Star and Brian had shaking hands, and with two of the bullies knocked out. Chapter 6: The Bus Escape. Once school was out, Brian was telling Samuel all about what Star Striker had did to House Gee and Monty. It was so cool, explained Brian. They were like, get him! And Star was like, nope. When Star was like, cannon fly again. Star was like, don't think so. Then bam, he knocks him out with his sword. I wish you could have been there. As I guess that air conditioner must be knocking them cannon fly around. But it sound like I hear them hitting up against stuff. They would say, wish you could have been there. As Brian continued, the bus driver stopped the bus at the red light. But just before it changed to green for him to pull off, a muscular woman with a tank top, torn jeans, orange hair, cobra markings all over her body, claws on her hands and feet, cobra fangs and eyes, and a long cobra tail broke inside the bus. Everyone screamed as she grabbed the driver and threw him out the bus. Oh boy. There's the snake woman. First appearance there. Actually, one of my cousins, my oldest cousin, had got a copy of this book, and his son, my other cousin, my oldest, his son, his oldest son, read this when he was about 4 or 5 years old, and he said the snake woman scared him. Yeah. Probably wouldn't now, because he done grown up quite a bit there, making me feel old. Say, Then she says, "Silence, you brats." Everyone got quiet as she continued. "The name is Sia. I'm taking charge of this bus now." And with that, she sat in the driver's seat and drove off extremely fast. "What are we going to do?" asked Brian. "Leave it to me," said Samuel as he got up, ran towards Sia, jumped on her, and started strangling her, shouting, "Stop this bus now!" "Not so fast, kid," said Sia, wrapping Samuel with her tail and stopping the bus. "I don't play games with little brats like you, but I have some friends that might." And of course, these are the friends she's talking about. These cobras here. Then cobras came out of her hair, almost making her like Medusa, crawled onto her tail and onto Samuel's head, hissing angrily as she gave orders. "Now here's the deal. Thanks to my ability to be as one with the snakes, you see, I have been informed of the location of my crabby friend at the top secret agency headquarters. My plan is to bust him out, and also while I'm at it, get the top secret project they've been working on. Now, if you children want your friend and yourselves to stay alive and not get bitten by my cobras, then sit down, shut up, and don't get in my way." Ooh, kind of hard. Not easy doing that there. Then she threw Samuel down to the ground and continued to drive. Several moments later, Sia arrived at the old abandoned recycling center above the secret location of the BTB agency headquarters. Then she said to the kids, "Now listen carefully, children. While I'm gone, these cobras of mine will make sure you all stay put and don't move, or else they'll bite you all." "What should we do?" whispered a kid in front of Brian and Samuel. Brian thought for a minute and whispered back, I got a plan. I once read in a book that cobras can be hypnotized. When you look at them, get the kids up front to stare at the cobras. Then one of us back here can get out through the emergency exits and say, "Okay, but who's going to go out the emergency exit?" whispered the kid. "I'll do it," whispered Samuel. "Now spread the word quick." Then the word passed. Once the kids at the front seat got the message, they stared at the cobras, and the cobras stared back. Neither one moving. Samuel then got up with his backpack and tiptoed quickly and quietly out the emergency exit as planned. Then ran around to the front doors and threw some Lego blocks at the cobras. The cobras jumped and came after Samuel as fast as he ran. "Everyone off the bus!" shouted Brian. The children ran out of the bus. Some exited through the front door, and some came out to the emergency exit. Meanwhile, Samuel lost the snakes and got to a hiding spot and said to himself, "Time to cast out the serpent." In chapter 7, a junkyard brawl. Just as the cobras arrived to Samuel's hiding spot, he was gone, but in his place was Star Striker. They hissed angrily at him as he said, "Sorry, but I've got to block you." And he threw Lego built stars at the cobra, which hit their heads really hard. Star laughed, saying, "I guess I'm not the only blockhead around here." "Messing with my pets, are you?" said Sia, up on top of a pile of rusted gas cans. Star turned and noticed her standing there, and quickly took out a lighter, say, like light your firecrackers or your stove or something, that kind. And said, "Nope, they're just having a blast." He turned the flame on and threw it at the gas cans, causing an explosion on contact, which blasted Sia into a pile of tires. Sia laughed again. Star laughed again. Tired yet? Get it? Tired. Then Star noticed a bunch of cobras around toward him, and that's with the impact of the explosion there. Ah! Around him. He quickly took off his cape, caught them, wrapped them tight, and threw it up, and then gave his toy sword, and with his toy sword gave him a home run hit out of the yard, and said, "Score one for the home team." Then Sia picked up a tire with her tail and threw it at Star, knocking him into a beat-up minivan. After that, Sia said, "And score one for the visitors." Then she broke free of the tires she was trapped in and walked slowly towards Star, saying, "Well, kid, your time has come now." Then she stopped in front of Star, picked him up, and just as she was about to sink her fangs into him, a tranquilizer dart struck her from behind. She became unconscious and was quickly tied up by the BTB agents. "You okay, son?" said a voice. Star got up, looked and saw Leonardo. "Dad, you see, I saw the whole thing, son. It's all right. We got her now." "That's what you think," said Sia as she regained consciousness. Then she opened her eyes, and which glowed bright green, busted out the ropes, knocking the agents aside. "Stay back," said Leonardo, getting in front of Star, aiming a laser cannon at Sia. "I wouldn't try that if I were you," they said Sia, as a cobra jumped out of her hair at Leonardo and bit his shoulder, causing him to fall in pain. Uh-oh. Oh! Oh boy. That's even worse than the cat that scratched Nick Fury in the Captain Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. "Dad!" exclaimed Star. Then he got really angry and took out his toy sword and shouted at Sia, "Why, you low-down snake!" Then Star charged at Sia with the sword, jumped up really high in the air over her. Sia fired several cobras out of her hair at Star, but as he started coming down, he quickly batted the cobras away with the toy sword. Then he hit her as hard as he could with it, and at the same time landed on her. Star was just about to say, okay. Star was just about to give her a quick smackdown, but she slashed his face. Then she wrapped the tail around and threw him into two of the agents, which caused them to go into a pile of cans in a small distance away. The only way we might have a chance at that creature now is the Project Starman, said the first agent. But the only problem is that we haven't had that we only have the prototype ready for our test robot. Is the second agent. We haven't had time to complete it fully. Maybe we'll get lucky and at least fend her off with what we got. Fine, but let's get the kid to safety first. But they looked around for Star and didn't see him anywhere. Where'd he go? Chapter 8, The Real Star Striker. The remaining agents battled with Sia until eventually she overpowered them. "Give up, gentlemen," she said. "Your efforts are futile. Hand over the Starman project and release my comrade." Just then, Sia was blasted into a nearby truck by a laser. What the heck did that come from? Came from the real Star Striker of this universe. And one big difference with Star Striker here in Heroes of Dreams, this is actually the only Star Striker that actually did not have his powers like the way you would see in 2004, where Star Striker could shoot solar beams, or in the later books like the Star Striker comic series and on further down, where Star had the powers of the star. But here, yeah, it was a star laser from a battle suit there, so pretty much like Iron Man Star Striker a little bit. It came from me, said a voice. Everyone looked up toward the sky and saw the Star Striker, now equipped with the Starman battle suit. However, in the place of the Star Pack was a black cape, and instead of a jetpack in the suit, there was star boots equipped with the rocket boosters. Well, it seems that Project Starman. They, but they went again. Yeah, I remember. Yeah, no, it was. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I literally was thinking, because that's what I kept thinking, oh wow, so somebody at the con you went to heard about Star Striker and made fan art. I was like, oh, I'm kind of flattered here. I gotta see this. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe somebody had made like was a fan of like maybe they had. I was thinking maybe they saw some of the pictures, like when you first had this colored form in there, and I had it, and I posted, I was posting it around. I thought maybe somebody put some fan art of that up there. So that was what I was thinking. I was like, okay, I gotta see this. Yeah, I was about to say, I was like, you're the one that created Star Striker, King Gabe? Oh my goodness! Can I have your autograph? What's that? He said, be shaking hands and everything. So that would be pretty cool, though. I gotta say, it would be really cool. And just, but I tell you what, it could definitely happen in the future, though. Yeah, we get bigger and bigger with this. Then, dude, all of us end up having some fans there, just and to say, the characters of Yumiko, Brownie, they'll be coming. And then, like even your character, Casey, Julie, aka Sword Girl, you're the one that came up with Sword Girl, Casey Hennigan. Oh my god, no way! I can get your autograph too. Yeah, be like when everybody was coming after Yugi in the at the Grand Champion at the KC Grand Championship there, especially Vivian. Like, hi, Yugi Poo. Don't worry. As soon as I trounce this little twerp, it's all about me and you. Ah. Wow, Yugi, you're my hero. So what's your secret? Natural charm. And of course, Taya kept saying, I need some female friends. Oh, man. That was too much there. Oh. Okay, so all right, so everyone looked up toward the sky. Oh, yeah, that's right. I read that. So, but now, but it's too bad I have to take it from you, kid. Sia started firing cobras like a machine gun at Star. Star fired his lasers from the gloves, blasting each cobra, almost like a video game. Then, as he continued, he also started charging towards Sia. And once he got close enough, he blasted her hair completely off, which disabled her from producing any more cobras. My hair! My hair, my hair, my hair! Yeah, I don't think that shampoo's gonna help for you for your kind of hair, sister. Why you? Actually, it's a good look on you, laughed Star. Curse you, you dang brat! Shouted Sia, swinging her tail at Star. Star quickly caught her tail, saying, oh, please, time for a swing. And he started swinging her around and around a while, saying, round and around she goes. Where she stopped? I guess I should have kept track as he threw her into a busted tractor. almost almost like the that guy Clank from Power Rangers Zeo. He's like, around and away we go. And then make the monster grow. Here you go. Then Sia started getting back up. There's no way I'm gonna let some little brat like you defeat me so easily.
That Project Starman will be mine, even if I have to devour you to get it.
And how will you do that? Asked Star. Probably shouldn't have asked. Say. Then Sia's eyes glowed bright green as she started hissing really loudly. Then, as her body started slowly growing in width and height, she ripped off her clothes, and after that, her arms and legs vanished as her body continued growing and had changed completely into an anaconda body. Then her head changed into a cobra with enormous fangs. After that, Sia's transformation was complete. She was a combination of a cobra and an anaconda that was now 10 feet tall. Yeah, that is one snake you definitely don't want to get near.
Yikes.
Yeah, you see that in the jungle. Better get the heck out of there. Oh, snap. I ain't see nothing. And I thought Jafar from Disney's Aladdin could was the and I thought only Jafar from Disney's Aladdin could do that, said Star. Yeah, remember when he did that? Why don't you fight for yourself, you cowardly snake?
A snake, am I?
Perhaps you'd like to see how
Snake-like I can be.
Hmm.
It's dinner time, said Sia.
And she lunged at Star with her mouth to swallow him, but he quickly flew up out of the way and started firing his lasers rapidly back at her. However, the lasers bounced off of her and hit Star's rocket boosters, disabling them temporarily, causing him to fall and land on her back. Then Sia quickly wrapped her body around Star and started squeezing him tight.
Now that's tight, isn't it?
Laughed Sia. Well, not as tight as this, said Star. He activated a function known as his utility pants. Yeah, eat your heart out, Batman. We went from utility belt to utility pants. And that actually is because the pants I wore as Star Striker, well, that costume in reality actually had multiple pockets, sort of like cargo pants there. Mm-hmm. Actually, I think they were well, yeah, they just had multiple pockets, yeah. The pockets from Star's utility pants opened, releasing a bunch of star spinners rapidly at the ground, causing tons of explosion under Sia, even though she wasn't affected by them. She laughed.
How pathetic. At least when I have the Project Starman, I'll be unstoppable, and nothing will stand in my way.
I'm afraid you're going to get grounded before that happens, said Star as the last of his star spinners were released. Then the ground under her, where all the explosions occurred, collapsed, causing Sia to fall in and release Star. After falling, Star blasted the ground with his lasers and made some rubble fall on top of her and cave in.
No!
All the agents cheered along with the kids who had been watching the whole fight, but secretly unknown to everybody, a girl was watching in the shadows. They enjoy your victory for the moment, Star Striker, she said to herself, because once I'm done with you, your time as a superhero will be history. We'll find out about her tomorrow morning. And here's the last chapter here. Official permission, chapter 9. Some of the agents escorted the kids home, while some of the other agents dug out Sia, who was unconscious in her snake woman form, and put her in a cell in the headquarters. Also, the agency's medical team helped to rid Leonardo of the snake poisoning he encountered from Sia. After he was healed, he talked with Samuel. So what do you think? As a new and improved Star Striker, I gave that snake lady the beatdown of her life. What do you say? Am I in or what? I'm not sure having an 8-year-old kid handling a responsibility like an agent would be such a good idea. I think of it as a superhero, Dad. Like Dick Grayson. He started out at 10 years old being Robin or Jade in Jackie Chan Adventures. Me and Christina are currently watching Jackie Chan Adventures. Yes, son, but those are cartoons and this is real life. That's what makes it so much cooler. Listen to me. You got lucky with today's incident, but there will be more, even more dangerous and deadlier than what you just faced. I can handle them. I got the most awesome superhero costume. The bad guys won't know what hit them. Please, Dad, I've always dreamed of being a superhero, and now I have a chance to be one with that suit. Samuel looked at Leonardo, and Leonardo thought about it. Like, like, oh, okay. Oh yeah, yeah, I know you got, yeah, I know. Say, I know that, yeah. Well, I put that with the animes be pretty good there. I know that there. I gotta get yeah, I saying that's probably I know there's some others I need to see there. Ooh, excuse me. I can hand say so Samuel looked at Leonardo and Leonardo thought about it really hard about Samuel's request and smiled. All right then, but like my agents, you need to prove just how much just you need to prove just much say how you can handle. I can handle anything. Also, you can't let this interfere with your schoolwork, which means you have to keep your grades up. Piece of cake. Well, now that you're on the team, it's time you learn our mission. And the deal is seals. As that song says, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours, baby. Hey, hey, Star Striker is in. Oh yeah. Woo! That was quite a read there. Now, so yeah, that's the first book. And tomorrow, I'm gonna because I gotta work late tomorrow from 12 noon to 8. Um, which I may possibly be off early, but still, yeah, it's still gonna be kind of rushing. Um, so so what I'm gonna do since because of that, I'm going to be reading this in the morning. I'll be reading this tomorrow morning. Should be around 8 o'clock. That should be enough time for me to read it and still be able to, get ready for work there. 'Cause I'm gonna be up pretty early. Matter of fact, as soon as I sign out of here, I'm gonna go to bed with wife because she gotta be as a. Oh, you wake up. Oh, you wake up around 8 o'clock. Okay, cool, cool, cool. Yeah, cause wifey she gotta say Christina she gotta be up she gotta be at work at 4 tomorrow morning. So obviously I gotta be up to see her out and everything. And I'll probably eat breakfast with her and everything. So so I will be up. I'll be kind of take care of a few things, and then 8 o'clock will be be able to be reading this there. Like I said, I would start around like 6 or something, but like I said, I don't want to be too early because I know, like I said, I don't want to be too early, but I don't want to be too late either. So yeah, 8 o'clock in the morning. That's when we'll be reading again to make up for Wednesday stream uh tomorrow. So yeah, so that's what we'll be doing, and then Thursday won't be a live stream because I got to work late again. Um, but okay, cool. So so yeah, tomorrow 8 o'clock a.m. I'll be streaming 8 o'clock a.m. And Thursday I'm gonna premiere a video. It's actually and be honest, it's actually gonna be a surprise video. It's a video. It was gonna be something I had already from Patreon, but I might possibly release something really brand new that's not even on Patreon yet. It's a video I did today, before the stream, so I might be releasing it to about 8:30 Thursday night as a premiere. Um, when you when it Thursday morning, I'll let you know what it is. I'll before I leave for work Thursday morning, I'll post and like say I'll make an announcement and you'll know what it is then. So oh yeah, you'll find out Thursday morning what will be coming Thursday night. So yep. So till Oh boy. Until then, let me show you one thing real quick before I sign out. There's kind of funny. I was let's see. So let's see, sort of a bit of a hint to what's coming up there. Sort of a bit of a hint there. There we go. Okay, not that one. Okay, here we go. Okay, this one right here. Now watch when I hit the play button. Whoop. Yep. There's a little hint to what I may be releasing. Well, I may be premiering on Thursday night. So yep. So yeah. So that's what we got coming up Wednesday morning, then Thursday night. So until then, I will see you guys later, so I can go to sleep now. Yeah, give me. So I'll be rested up and have time to get breakfast and all that. As a before I come on this stream again tomorrow morning before going to work. So and at least and also I'll be able to have me some water here too. So yeah. All right. So see y'all later. I'll take care. I'll see y'all. Anybody who's able to, I'll see y'all in the morning.